Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm a little nervous, confused. I mean, everything put together today because I did choose to talk about something which is personal. Lot of things in my head, okay, but um, it's majorly about if I want to sum up in one sentence, hey, tell me what this video is about. It's about how I moved on. Let me be very clear, this is about how I moved on and not about how to move on, okay? So, a little bit of history. We'll go into that details later. I mean, after some time. Anna, to know history, what did I move on from? அப்படின்னு உங்களுக்கு தெரியணும்ல. So, my last relationship, which I was in as an adult, like adult now, 25 is what I'm talking about as adult. I 24, 25, and okay, yeah, it's all over it's at least all over my internet, like the internet I am exposed to, and the people who have my exposure know that I got cheated on. I've already made a video on that. ஆனால் அதில் எவ்வளோ கிளாரிட்டியோட பேசினான்னு எனக்கு தெரியாது. But if, wow, I spent 1 minute talking about what I'm going to talk about. Nervousness. Okay. So, how I moved on is very subjective, let me be very honest. But if you ask me, have I moved on fully? I would say no. I would say I'm at a 90% happily. After getting cheated on, the first step for me was to forgive myself. Okay? So first step was forgive myself. Second step was to forgive the other person. The third step was to give myself another chance. Fourth step was to give love another chance, like having an open mind to it. So when it came to how I moved on, my first step when I'm emotionally stuck doing a big heartbreak, big or small, is I write. So when I write, I journal everything. It goes from why did you do this to me to fuck you. Yeah, various, all the tones covered. And then so journaling is when I start to slowly realize that okay, these are the things. So step one is forgiving myself because there were certain things that I shouldn't have done too. I'm not justifying that that's why I got cheated on, though I did believe for some time that idalala irkumo abdintu. But no, there is no justification to cheating someone. And second thing I did is to forgive the other person. That comes from a lot of compassion, empathy, and all that. So that was hard because there's so many questions, right? இதுக்கு என்ன ஒண்ணுமே புரியாம இருந்தப்போ forgiving the other person is going to help forgive myself. And how did I do it? I don't have a guide on how to forgive the person who cheated on you, but all I can say is if you're like me, someone who loves deeply, I believe in this thing where universe will hurt you with the same thing until you leave it. So that's exactly what happened. There were signs, there were good instances where I should have walked out, but I chose to stay, and அந்த திரும்ப hurt ஆயிட்டு you eventually move on. That's what happened. And to accept panone, forgiving became easy because you are being removed from a situation you don't deserve to be in. So that is like, oh, it makes sense. And while you're going through something, it's not going to make sense, but you have to give time to it. So I did give that time. And the third or like a little important step is going and talking to the person who informed you that this is happening, like the third person basically. In my case, God bless her, she came straight into my DMs and she was like, hello, this is your boyfriend, this is Ache. Me being me, I was like, I know how sincere he is. I know how loyal he is. I don't know what you have to heal from, but அவனை பற்றி இப்படி சொல்லாதான். And then I had to forgive me for calling another woman a liar. இல்லையா? So I went into her DMs and I said, hello, hi, I wanted to apologize because whatever you said was true and I needed to be more cautious. That happened. So involve ஆன people forgive பண்றது. And the fourth thing was cutting off everything. When I say everything, I mean pictures, I mean messages, photos, I mean the physical photos or whatever, and cutting off the contacts you got via them. அவனோட ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் உங்களை அண்ணாவாக இருப்பாங்க, தம்பியாக இருப்பாங்க. Sometimes if you're fool enough like me, you get involved with your family, the dog, the pets, whatever. Cut the contact. And then what? And then I had a few friends, my crew, who I would call and tell I will narrate the entire relationship just thinking about good things, and then they will be like, what are the bad things? Tell me the bad things that happened. So that அதெல்லாம் ரிலேஷன்ஷிப் வந்து வெளியே வந்த பிறகு பார்க்கும்போது it really puts you in your place, like, you know, these are the things. And after that is giving a good time. In my case, I gave like a year's time to reconnect, not intentionally, but it just happened so. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, after the breakup, whenever I had a weak moment, right from லைசன்ஸ் எடுக்க போயிருந்தேன். லைசன்ஸ் எடுக்கும் போது நான் வந்து கொழுப்பெடுத்து கியர் வண்டிக்கு லைசன்ஸ் எடுக்க போயிருந்தேன். I couldn't do it on spot and they were like rejected and I was very அது அப்போ அந்த டைமில் எதானாலும் I would cry and then the first instinct was to call him. So I have gotten out of that habit pretty late. அந்த மாதிரி வீக் மொமெண்ட்ஸில் you need self-control. You need crazy self-control for that. I don't know if I've still fully learned it. So being very conscious in your weak moments is what will become your strength when you're moving on. That helped me. And what else did I do? I started meeting people slowly at my pace. But once I know that you're not ready, or a conversation okkarumbodhu when your brain is not braining, when you're not fully present on a date, or you know, or a date kuda illa or pudu conversation pesumbodhu kuda, if you think like your brain is not fully there, sense it and walk out of the conversation. Be honest, just be honest to yourself and to the other person that hey, not there yet baby girl அப்படினு சொல்லிட்டு you can come off. Again, it's a lot about being conscious, right? I mean, you are in a daze. At least I was in a daze. I don't remember 6 months after my breakup in sequence. என்ன நடந்தது எல்லாமே எனக்கு ஞாபகமே இல்லை. Like I don't remember. I remember how I spent my birthday. I remember how New Year's went. But other days are like full at a haze. Appo, do you realize how much your nervous system is fucked up that you don't remember your days and events that happened? That happens. In those places, I chose to be very conscious and kind to myself. And yeah, konjona trigger warning. When you feel like the whole world is crashing, it's important to have a friend who you call and you're like, talk to me, help me stay alive. So for me personally, I would be just like driving and இவ்வளோ கோவம்னா I'll be like, you know, அப்படின்லாம் அந்த மொமெண்ட்டில் I'll just call and I'll be like, be on call and just keep talking me. I just talk about random things. போயிட்டுருக்கேன், ரோடு என்னென்ன இருக்குது, and I don't talk about the heartbreak. I'm not telling you to talk about that. Have that one friend who picks your call and just stays online. I mean, that's for very adverse cases, but that helped me post all this. இதெல்லாம் முடிச்சுட்டு அவங்கள ஃபர்கிவ் பண்ணி இவங்கள ஃபர்கிவ் பண்ணி உன்னையே ஃபர்கிவ் பண்ணிவிட்டு லாஸ்ட் ஸ்டெப் இஸ் டு மேக் ஷுர் யூ டோன்ட் கிவ் அப் ஆன் யுவர் செல்ஃப். That's only if you need. If you're not at that pace, good for you. I'm very proud of you. But if that happens, I need you to push through. And last and final thing was therapy. I know, expensive. I mean, that's the biggest thing. I didn't go for therapy. Like, I'm not going to afford 1.5k per week. I'm 27 years old right now, and I can say that, yeah, I can afford it. Like, I can. And yeah, after 2 years of the breakup, I started therapy for very, very different reason. Anna, now when you talk about it, I'm learning a lot of things. I know that I'm not my usual self as I was at least in my videos, but I want to end this by saying that moving on is not a linear journey. It's not like இப்படி எந்திரிச்சேன் அக்டோபர் சம்டே என்னோட பிரேக்கப் ஆச்சு, அதுக்கப்புறம் நான் வந்துட்டு அடுத்த வருஷம் மார்ச்சில் ஏதோ ஒரு நாள் நான் ஹீல் ஆகிட்டேன். நோ, அக்டோபரில் பிரேக்கப் ஆச்சு, டிசம்பரில் ஹீல் ஆன மாதிரி ஃபீல் ஆச்சு, ஜான்வரியில் wound ஓப்பன் ஆச்சு, அண்ட் தென் அகேன் மார்ச்சில் யூ ஃபீல் லைக் த ஹோல் வேர்ல்ட் இஸ் கிராஷிங் அகேன், and then in May suddenly you're fine, you're moving on, you're probably on a date, and then in June you're again like, why am I talking to new people? I was so fine in my last relationship, why did that end? And then that's when I say it's non-linear. You feel like you've healed, and then it hits you again. You feel you've healed, and then it hits you again. It doesn't stop until one random day it stops. Your job is to push through until that random day comes and you're like, shit, it's hurting lesser than how much it did. It keeps getting lesser, okay? The hurt, the intensity, it keeps getting lesser. அது வரைக்கும் push through பண்றது is in your hand, was in my hand, and I think I did push through it well, because here I am talking to you. I just miss my own stupid jokes, sarcasm, everything put together in this video. So yeah, this is how I moved on. I journaled, I forgave myself, I forgave my ex-boyfriend, I forgave the girl who was involved. I let go of every single thing that was holding me back with this person. I started therapy. I started journaling. I stopped living in the questions that lived in my head. I consciously removed those things, and I hope it helps you, because it really helped me. Damn, that's a sad video, guys. I am looking forward to talk something more fun. That's all. It gets better. It always gets better. And sometimes it gets so fucking better, you're like, oh shit, this is why this happened. Hang on till there. Bye. Subscribe and all that. Do all that, okay? Don't make me say all that.